you know you make me float. Boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope. 'Cause you.
Hey butterflies, welcome back to my channel. So first and foremost, I just want to say I know that it's another video that's coming after this where I basically do a whole celebration of 1 year on YouTube, and I know that I have been gone, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in my next video. But I just want to take this time to just say thank you guys for each and every one of y'all that have supported me, that has been with me this whole journey. It really is truly greatly appreciated a lot. I really do love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for being a part of the butterfly community. When I first started YouTube, I was supposed to be going in the direction of God, and this channel was for God to use it in whatever way he felt best. I basically got caught up in analytics and what was trending at the time. Not saying that I wasn't staying true to who I was at my core, but I know that I started noticing that I started to put content out there that didn't really reflect what originally this channel was supposed to do. Granted, y'all have been seeing me grow, y'all have been seeing me evolve into who it is that I am today. It's just that when I look at my videos now, I just notice that it's like something's missing. I don't really know where this channel is going to go as far as direction. What I do know is that I'm walking more in obedience now. This video is a little bit different. In today's video, what you can expect to get from it is what I learned from fasting for 7 days and how everything went about, why it's important to fast, what I learned from fasting, when to fast, how did I know to fast. You're gonna get all of the good details on how this fast went. So let's get into it. I went on the fast March 21st through the 28th. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, when I first heard of fasting and everything like that, I immediately was like, no, this wasn't my first time fasting. This was just the first time that I was desperate enough. What is fasting? This is no judgment, y'all. At first I thought fasting, if I can stop myself from eating and drinking, because those were the only two things that I really was trying to fast about. If I could stop myself from doing those things, then in return God would do something for me. It was more so of like a currency exchange that I thought. However, according to Google, the biblical definition of fasting is the practice of abstaining from food and sometimes drink for a specific period for spiritual or religious reasons, to humble oneself before God, seek his guidance, and express dependence on him. Coming out of my fast, I believe that I now know that the definition of fasting really is just how desperate you are willing to hear God and seek his guidance. I believe that fasting for me, like I keep saying, I had to come to a point where I was so desperate to be and hear from God and just seek his guidance that I was basically willing to do whatever it took to get that, honestly. So why is fasting important? I believe that fasting is important because, like Google said, you gain a sense of guidance from God. I believe that it also shows you just how strong you are. I believe that fasting can really teach you more about who you are as a person. I believe that fasting helps you just learn how to be in God's presence a little bit more and actually like carve out time to spend with him, and just how deep that your relationship with God can really get. I believe that if you allow it to, and if you do it correctly, I believe that you can gain a lot from God. I don't know why, but I'm getting a little bit emotional. But like fasting is important just so that you can see and prove not only to yourself but also prove to God just how important he is in your life, and just to show him that like he made an ultimate sacrifice for us by just sending his only begotten son Jesus to die on the cross for us. Fasting is our version of experiencing in a way what it was like for Jesus when he had the fast, and his fast was way harder than any fast that we ever could do. You get what I'm saying? When I did my fast, I needed guidance, I needed clarity, I needed to know what to do next. I needed to understand, like, honestly, where God was and all this that's going on in my life. I had so many opinions and everything in my head, and so I feel like coming out of my fast, I just received something that was just, it's not even explainable, you know. It's just one of those things that you have to experience for yourself. But fasting is the way to go if you are trying to learn how you can hear from God. I believe that that's one of the most important things about fasting, and also proving to your flesh that your flesh is not in control of you, that you are in control of you, despite what your flesh may tell you to. Because within your fast, you start to realize, like, what is being spirit fed versus what is being flesh fed, if that makes sense. I was reading Romans, and it's a verse in Romans that basically talks about this, and that verse basically taught me was that, like, sometimes we have to, like, turn against what our flesh wants just so that we'll be able to see what it is on the inside that our soul needs, you know. So yeah, that's why fasting is important. How do you know when to fast? So a little bit of a backstory. I'm trying to look for guidance in the sense of where I should go next with my career, right? And in that, I have so many people's opinions in my head, and so many people was telling me, oh, you should do this, or no, do this, it's better if you do this. And it was beginning to be too much, right? I had been seeing, like, fasting. And granted, my church had went on a fast at the beginning of the year, and I felt like I did that fast, but if I'm being honest, I was only doing a fast because my church was doing a fast. But I don't think I was desperate yet for it. It would give what I'm like, I don't know how to I just wasn't desperate enough for that when I did the fast at the beginning of the year. And life started lifing, and I was just like, oh, what is it? And everything, like, kept on fasting. I need you to fast. That's literally all I kept hearing in my spirit is, I need you to fast. But fasting was like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. The icing on the cake for me was I had called one of my dear friends, shout out to Naomi, and I called her and I basically told her, like, girl, this XYZ is going on. I don't know what to do. I need to vent. And my friend got on the phone. She listened to me and she was like, friend, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should fast. And her telling me that she didn't know what to say, or it was nothing that she could really say to me, and maybe I should just fast and ask my elders at my church for guidance, that did, like, it was the confirmation for me that was like, okay. Not to mention my coworker, that's also my friend, that's my homie. Shout out to my girl. You really my girl though. But she was also fasting at the time as well. Well, she was fasting the week prior to that. And it was just like fasting was all around me. And so I was just like, okay, maybe, just maybe, I need to fast. And it came the 21st. The 20th, I had just left Bible study. And I was sitting in the car and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it for real this time. I'm gonna humble myself and I'm gonna do it. What fast did you do and why? If you read your Bible, there's a lot of different fasts that's in the Bible. The Daniel fast, you have the fast that Jesus did, you have the Esther fast. Esther fast was 3 days, Jesus fast for 40 days, and Daniel fast was 21-day fast. In the beginning, it was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. None of those fasts fit me. Like, when you fast, you also have to be reasonable with yourself. Like, of course, you don't want to do no cutesy fast. I heard this pastor once. I can't remember if it was my pastor or if it was Pastor Philip Anthony. He said something that stuck out to me. They said, stop doing these cute fasts. It's not a fast if you don't hurt, right? Originally, I knew that 40 days is unrealistic for me. You get what I'm saying? I know how hard I am on myself, and I know that if I put, because I was in such a desperate, vulnerable spot, if I wouldn't have completed the fast fully, I would have been devastated, and I would have felt like I have to start over and everything like that. Like, it was 40 days, no food, just water. You get what I'm saying? I'm not Jesus. Like, in the most humblest way possible. But I'm not Jesus. And I'm still a baby in Christ. Like, at some point, I'm going to get to the meat. But right now, I'm still on milk, okay? I'm still on milk. On a more serious note, though, the Esther fast, that fast was only for 3 days. Where I was at, 3 days just wasn't enough. So when I was in the car, I was beginning to just like pray over what it was that I was doing. I was really talking, but talking is praying. It's just a conversation between you and God. So what I did was no social media. I did no drinking. I only ate, and this was the hardest part, I only ate between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. However, before 3 p.m. I wouldn't eat nothing, but I also wouldn't drink nothing. That included water. And after 6 p.m. I only drank water until midnight. I read my word every day. I did prayer and journaling. I did Bible study at home, and I also went to Bible study on Thursday because I fasted for a week, and yeah, I went to Bible study on that Thursday. I did 4 a.m. prayer. I made sure to incorporate time of worship and just stillness, and I did minimal contact with people. What started off as me believing that I couldn't do it, it started to really become easy towards, like, I don't know, probably like day 3. I don't really know when, but it started to become easier. The worship, y'all, I am a worship girly. Like, worshiping for baby, worship gonna take me out every single time. This one song PMJ just released called Just Jesus, and after watching his video of him calling on Jesus for 9 minutes and 25 seconds straight, and him releasing that song, y'all, when I tell you that song been on repeat, I mean repeat. It's a part of the song where he says, if you see me cry with my hands raised, I'm just overwhelmed. I know I can't sing, don't judge me, but he said, because if you knew the pit he pulled me out of, then you will understand. Jesus, just Jesus. How they be like, grandmama be running through the church, baby. That sends me running. It was this point where, like, the other day I was in the living room and I was literally just crying, but in a good way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can get so lost in worship sometimes, especially like when I have my headphones on and I can't hear myself, because like I just said, I can't sing. God didn't give me a voice to sing. But when I can't hear myself and all I can hear is the music, and you actually start to listen to the words that they're saying, you get so lost in it. Y'all, worship was one of the best things. I know a lot of people talk about when you get to heaven, like all they talk about is, oh, it ain't gonna be nothing but worship 24/7. That's my, like, how we be at the club, that's me. Like, that's me. That's gonna be me in heaven, though. Like, I'm cool with that. I just pray that he give me a voice in heaven. You know, like, hope that I can sound good. And, you know, because singing, and I'm already a loud person, so like singing to the top of my lungs and never being able to, like, in heaven you ain't gotta worry about losing your voice. Everything's perfect in heaven. So I'm gonna be okay. What did you gain from the fast? I think I kind of touched on this a little bit already in the beginning half of this video. The first thing that I gained from this fast was more time with God. We don't take time with God as serious as we really should. I believe that if we as a whole would start taking more time with him, we can actually start seeing his work through us and allow for him to start working in us. We'll see a great change in the world. Another thing that I was able to gain from this fast was I had revelations, y'all. I had my first revelation 3 days after I officially gave my life to Christ. And I know a lot of people think that, like, oh, you gave your life to Christ when you was in a... I gave my life to Christ back in September. I want to say September 9/11, in the car on my way to school. I was literally in school. I never forget it. I was in school. I can't forget it too because I wrote a letter, but I didn't even look at that. But I gave my life to Christ on my way to school. I had so many questions, and I remember being on a phone call with my mom, and I was just asking so many questions about God and everything like that. And literally I heard it so clearly. God was like, you asking her, ask me. And in that moment, I got off the phone with my mom and I started asking God so many things, which led me to just like truly confess to him and tell him, like, you know, my life is not my own. My life is yours. And whatever it is that you want over my life, God, do it. And honestly, he's been doing it. I'm not perfect. I never said I was, hence my name, Perfectly Imperfect. But I can honestly see the change that he is doing in me, through me, and to me. I had a sense of peace through this fast. There was a moment where I was sitting on the couch during my fast, and I was just telling God, like, my insides, like, there was a point of time where my insides used to feel so heavy. I used to walk around with such a heaviness and just like such this extra weight. And it's like, granted, while God been working on me, I've been feeling the weights just lift off my shoulders. Like I've been just like, I don't know, it's like weights just been coming out. But I feel like in this fast, I was able to just gain a sense of peace, a sense of just stillness. In this fast, I was happy. Y'all, if y'all only knew what I've been facing, what I'm up against, y'all would be like, gee, if y'all knew what I went through, like if y'all knew the pit that he pulled me out of, I don't think y'all understand. Like, it's all cute and glamorous now. Like, my life is better than it was back then. But y'all, if y'all really knew, if y'all walked in my shoes, y'all, I shouldn't be here. Y'all don't understand. I should not be here. When the pastors get to praying and saying that in church and everything like that, like, the devil should have never let me get to this point. Because one, I now understand that I owe my life to Christ. And it sounds so crazy for those words to even come out of my mouth, like, out of all people. Because if you know me in real life, you know, like, me, like, Denisha, out of all people. And not to say that I was no bad person, it's just that I was the least to be expected of this. The main thing that I realized is just how noisy the world is. When you shut the world out of your life and just like let it be just you realize, like, one, how much you depend on social media, how much you depend on food. Like, food is, I'm a food girly, okay? Like, I love me a good cupcake or two. I love me a good TMI, but like, your girl was on her cycle, and like, I'm a cake. My sister's birthday, like, temptation was all through the mix, y'all. Like, the devil really didn't want to see me win. My sister's birthday was literally 2 days into my fast, and they got my favorite cake, y'all don't. I love cake, okay? And they got yellow cake, which is my favorite, with buttercream, and I couldn't eat it, y'all. I had to wait a whole 24 hours so that I could eat it the next day at 3 p.m. Girl, I give myself a pat on the back because I really did wait. Like, I did this. Like, I pat on the back because I did this fast, y'all. I did it. Would you do another fast? And why are you sharing your fast? Honestly, I would do another fast. I honestly want to do the 7-day fast of just liquids only, being water only. The more that I fast, the more I can gain control of my flesh. The more that I'll be able to humble myself. The more that I'll be able to seek God and be able to recognize his voice over my voice, over the enemy's voice, over the voice of everybody else. Fasting wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Fasting actually was more beneficial than I thought it could be. The reason why I decided to share my fast and share everything that I did share about my fast, honestly, because I was told to. I told y'all at the beginning of the video, I'm learning how to walk in obedience now. And with walking in obedience, when I want to say the second to last day of my fast, I was sitting on the couch and I literally heard God just was like, you need to talk about it. And I feel like as humans, we try to like not talk about things because, one, we scared of what the world think, because the world always got an opinion. You know, everybody love to say, oh, you're not supposed to share your fast. A fast is supposed to be between you and God. They feel like everybody who have a camera, they do everything for content and everything like that. And granted, there are some people out here that do everything for content, but my channel not even at a point where I'm either honestly that I'm even making money off of this. I'm really doing this because I was told to. And I feel like when I'm talking to my friends or when I'm talking to just peers, it's just like when we just having conversation and we get to talking about real life stuff that we feel like we going through alone because we don't talk to each other. It's just like, dang, if more people would start talking about it, then we wouldn't feel so alone in this world. Y'all know how many people are in the world, and for you to sit back and think that you're the only one struggling or you're the only one going through it, it's preposterous. It's crazy. Like, your deepest, darkest secret, trust and believe somebody else that went through it. And there's also somebody out there that has been delivered from it. Like, if I tell y'all my deepest, darkest thing, I know for a fact that that is somebody in the world that has been delivered for that same thing. And if not, it's in the Bible. The Bible can show you. One thing too about why I shared it is, it's like I'm learning how to be obedient, and not just being obedient but walking in my obedience. God told me to do it, why not do it? That's what's wrong with us now. We don't listen. So that's why I decided to share it. Okay, so the last part of this before I close out this video is I wanted to share one of the Bible. I'm not gonna read it to y'all, don't worry, don't turn off the video yet. But it's this verse in Romans that really stuck out to me. I have to go back and look at it because okay, so I actually found the verse and I actually lied. I am gonna read it to y'all. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 through 30, and it says, and for we know that all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. For those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be firstborn amongst many brothers and sisters. And those he predestined, he also called. Those he called, he also justified. And those he justified, he also glorified. Oh, I just read that out loud. Give me my ones and twos. Your girl can read, baby. The teacher ain't have to worry about popcorn reading on me. No, I just I know that this was a verse that, you know, is one of them famous verses that we just hear. For me, it just goes to show that, like, and if you know the history behind, like, if you know who's talking, actually Paul is talking, who Paul was originally Saul, and Saul was a man that was killing people that originally was Christians. They wasn't called Christians back then. They was called followers of the way. Sarah Jakes, I learned that from her, y'all. That literally came from one of her sermons. He was on his way to kill people until he had an encounter with God. And when he had this encounter with God, he basically was transformed, and he started walking in his purpose. And so what this verse that he is in his letter that he's writing to the church in Rome is basically showing us that, like, you was predestined. God set you apart. He, through Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not no preacher, but I'm not gonna not step into what it is that God is calling me to do or calling me to say, or whatever the case may be. But, like, you was chosen by God, despite what you want to believe, despite what you try to tell yourself. God predestined you. He glorified you. He justified everything that you do. If he could justify me and all my craziness and all my ratchetness and all my filth, he could do the same for you. You really just have to come into a point where you understand that, like, you have a purpose that's really bigger than anything of this world. Like, I think I am finally stepping into this understanding of just knowing that, like, this world, yes, this world is all we know. We don't even know a life with God. You get what I'm saying? But when you start reading the Bible and you started taking into account of these are actually people that got to walk with God, got to experience Jesus. You get what I'm saying? In the beginning, when Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, they got to experience God. You get what I'm saying? It was just them and God. And then get into the New Testament, towards the Old Testament, New Testament, people got to experience Jesus. You get what I'm saying? So granted, we don't know that, but there's gonna come a day that we will. And my biggest thing is, like, you don't want to wait for that day to come for you to look up and be like, dang, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know, I hope that, honestly, that whoever it is on the other side of this screen that's watching this, my prayer is that you feel and understand, like, y'all, this shouldn't be me talking. It really shouldn't. But once I started to take into account of that, like, when God say he wants you and he gonna use you, he gonna do just that. This feels so out of norm for me. This feels so crazy for me. Like, I thought I was gonna be that young little lit chick in the club shaking my tail feather too. And don't get me wrong, I didn't get fully delivered from that yet, but I am allowing God to work through me, in me, into me. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. That's it. Y'all have reached the end of this video. If you have made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. If this video has blessed you in any way, share it with a friend so that it can bless them too. If you know somebody that needs to hear it, share it with them. If you're struggling with fasting, or if you need some ideas, share it. Comment, like, subscribe if you want to be a part of the butterflies. We pretty lit over here, not gonna lie. It's a no judgment zone over here. We real chill, real laid back, and we just doing this thing called life together, as my pastor Hannah say. As my pastor, who is Pastor Hannah, would say. And on that note, y'all, what's up, G-Way? In the cut with my twin. We be vibing. I'm an icy girl, but y'all know I serve a God big.